video, we're reacting to the craziest video ever. No one knew she was a famous singer. It's Blocky!
Hi,
and
my
this
name
is
Sasha,
crazy.
and I'm a popular singer with the wealthiest
Whoa.
parents in town.
Oh.
Before I continue, please like and subscribe.
What?
Selling out concerts weekly and dealing with fans around
Wow.
the world might sound fun, but you know
That
what's
sounds
even cooler?
amazing.
Partying all night long.
Partying?
In the middle of my show, I escaped with my boyfriend Theo to go to the biggest island party
Hey,
ever.
it's Theo.
But when he pulled over to a helicopter pad, my excitement
Wait,
turned
what?
to panic.
What?
I thought we were going to use a yacht.
Huh?
You know I have a phobia of heights, right? It's a 5-minute ride. You're just being melodramatic.
Oh.
Get over it.
Oh,
Get over it?
dude.
Enjoy the party without this drama queen then.
Oh.
Babe, come on. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I just
Dude,
ignored
Theo.
him and stormed off.
Theo
As I walked
stepped
back
over
to
the
city,
line.
I noticed a person in a hooded jacket following
Oh,
me.
no.
I grabbed my stiletto and yelled at him. Why are you hiding, dude?
Dude.
Are you scared?
They're
Don't
like
worry.
swords.
I don't bite. To my surprise, he just threw a magazine at me and ran away.
Oh.
What, the chocolate fudge? I picked it up and realized that it was my magazine
What?
with a death threat drawn all over my
What?
face. Unfortunately for him, I was fearless.
Bruh.
The threats kept coming over the weekend. My parents had always wanted to hire
Oh,
a bodyguard for
no.
me, but I didn't want some boring old guy to keep following me around.
True.
But this time, they wouldn't take no for an answer.
Wow.
When I finally saw my bodyguard, I almost passed out. He was the most
Dude,
exquisite
look at him!
specimen of a man I
What a
had never
madman.
seen. And he looked just a few years older than me.
Wow.
Hey, handsome. Are you sure you're a bodyguard and not my next boyfriend?
Oh.
To my surprise, he didn't smile a bit.
Bruh.
Rude. You look too young for this job. How can I trust you? Suddenly, a ball from our neighbor came hurling right at
whoa.
me, and he instantly caught it with one hand.
Dude.
Trust me, I'm really good at my job. You can check my records. Your father has everything you need.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's go. He opened the car door for me.
This
and
guy
as I
is
slipped
cool.
In, I accidentally brushed my shoulder on his chest.
Oh.
And oh my, it felt harder than a rock. When we arrived at school, Theo didn't look so
Bruh,
happy
Theo
to see
is
me with
not
my
happy.
young bodyguard. He pulled me aside and said, "Look, babe,
Oh.
I know I insulted you the other night, but getting back at me by flirting with another guy,
Oh.
how could you? He's my freaking bodyguard. I'm still mad at you for what you did, and now you're
Dang.
accusing me of cheating?" Suddenly, Damon stepped in. "Is there a problem here?
Oh.
Stay out of this, man." Theo tried to push him aside,
Oh,
but Damon
that's not
pounced on
happening.
him and pinned him to
That's
the ground.
not happening.
What the heck are you doing? Let go of me, idiot. Hey,
Oh.
stop it. Damon finally released my
Wow.
boyfriend after a minute. As expected, Theo went psycho.
he's not happy.
I immediately blocked him before he got his butt kicked by Damon.
Wow.
That's enough, Theo. He's just doing his job. Why do you need a bodyguard when you have me? I'm your boyfriend. I'll protect you. A small spider suddenly landed on his shoulder, and he ran screaming.
He's out of
My
there.
butt. As I walked down the hall with Damon, girls were literally drooling all over him. He looks more like
Wow.
a model than a bodyguard. He can be the father of my children. He's way
Yikes.
more attractive than Theo. I really want to feel his biceps. These
Same.
girls sounded so desperate, but they were right. When I reached our classroom, my best friend Tessa came up to me with
Wow.
my favorite coffee. "Hey girl, so I brought you your..."
Ooh.
Damon suddenly snatched it and started sniffing it. He then took a sip
Ooh.
and waited for a few seconds before saying, "Clear." As he gave it back to me,
Dang.
Tessa was glaring at him.
Dude, she is so
"Excuse me,
mad.
Did you really think that I'll poison my best friend?"
Yeah.
"Just doing my job." Tessa then dragged me to a corner.
Ooh.
"So you're giving up your privacy just like that? I can see that he's very attractive.
Yeah?
But something about him screams bad news.
Wait,
He
really?
even sounds like a demon. You have to get rid of him ASAP. Oh, come on,
Why is he
girl.
so
It's
bad?
just his first day. Let's see.
He's
But
a bodyguard.
Tessa was right.
What do you
I didn't
mean?
have a second of privacy.
I suppose
Damon
so.
followed me around every freaking second. He stood
True.
behind me in all of my classes and even in restrooms. It
Ugh.
was so awkward.
That's scary.
At home, he'd just stand outside my door, and I never saw him sleep. And
How does he
worse,
sleep?
He had this permanent ice-cold expression on his face that gave me chills. I
Dang.
had a recording event one night, and when I reached the studio, a guy came rushing
Oh,
toward me.
watch out!
He was about to draw out something from his back pocket when suddenly Damon grabbed his arm and twisted it.
Dang.
"Drop your weapon." What? I just wanted an autograph from her, man. Damon let go of the poor guy, and it was so embarrassing. What's the matter with you? I'm a popular singer, so you have to get used to my fans. Just doing my job. Calm
Just
down,
doing
Sasha.
my job.
Calm down. The next day at school, Theo kept following me around to apologize, but
Aw.
I still ignored him until he said, "My producer cousin is throwing an exclusive yacht party with some A-listers this
Ooh.
weekend. She's a fan of yours, and she'd be ecstatic if you came."
Oh.
He had my attention now. Parties were my weakness.
She does love her
Not so fast,
parties.
sweetheart. Hang out with me tomorrow? Okay, fine. Theo
Oh.
requested not to bring Damon to our date tomorrow, so I
Oh.
talked to him in private. My job is not to leave your side for a minute.
Dang.
So sorry, can't do. He was so firm about this, so I finally gave up and let him come with us. We went to a
Oh.
private movie theater and watched a super
I wouldn't
sad
mind having
movie
a bodyguard
together.
with me.
Minutes into the movie, Theo and I were already crying our hearts out, while Damon had no reaction at all. What was he, a robot?
A
After the
robot?
movie, we went to a fancy restaurant, and I was having a good time with the lobster until Theo started forcing himself on me. Just one
no.
kiss, babe. Come on. Not
Oh,
now,
that's
Theo.
sketchy.
We're in a public place and people are staring.
Yeah.
But he was persistent.
Ooh,
Just
get
then,
in there, Damon.
grabbed him
Yeah.
and threw him away like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Theo was furious. He grabbed a chair, but
Oh.
before he could hit
Oh,
Damon with it,
dude.
I pushed him away. Stop it, right now.
It's a fight.
The stupid bodyguard started it.
No,
Why
he
don't
didn't.
you tell him to get a life and go home to his mommy?
Oh.
No, Theo, you go home. I immediately
Oh.
called him a cab, and when he was finally gone, I turned to Damon angrily. I know he was
Wow.
being a jerk, but I can handle my personal life. You don't have to interfere every freaking second.
I'd
He
still
was
like to have a
disrespecting
bodyguard.
your personal space. Your job is
Yeah.
to keep me safe, not to meddle in my personal matters.
That's
Know
true.
your boundaries. Apologies. It will never happen again. I
True.
actually didn't mind that Theo got the thrashing he deserved, but Damon always being around was just getting on my nerves. A few
Ooh.
days later at a concert, I was performing my newest single, and everyone was singing along with me.
Yeah.
It felt amazing. Some of
I
them
wonder what it
even
is.
started climbing up on the stage to join me.
Oh, that's
Suddenly,
bad.
Damon jumped in and pushed them off stage.
Yeah.
What in the world? He then lifted me and
Oh, wait,
carried me
what?
to the backstage.
Why?
In the middle of my freaking performance.
What?
I finally had enough.
Oh,
my
no.
parents are paying you to protect me, not to annoy me and screw up my concerts.
Oh.
Your life is in danger, ma'am.
What?
You have to treat everyone as an enemy.
What do you mean?
That is ridiculous. Whoever sends those stupid threats is probably just some harmless loser.
Ooh.
Better to be safe than sorry. I complained to my parents about his behavior,
True.
but they praised him for it. But he's ruining my
Oh.
career
Oh.
and even my personal life. He's just doing his job, honey.
Exactly.
That's to make sure you're safe all the time.
Yeah.
They were hopeless cases. So I resorted to Tessa instead.
Oh.
And she came up with a plan.
Uh-oh.
Test his patience. Annoy him. Do
Uh-oh.
everything you can to make him quit. You're good at that, you gorgeous brat. I
Oh.
love the sound of it, girl. You're the best. Of course I am. I stayed up
That's
at
bad.
4 a.m. that night
Oh,
to disturb
no.
Damon into sleep, but to my surprise, he was already
What?
up. I need you to get my favorite Starbucks coffee.
What?
That's not part of my job description. Do it, or I'll make your job harder.
What?
Fine. What's your order? 1 iced venti caramel macchiato with 6 shots of mocha, 1/4 nut
What?
milk, 1
What?
inch almond milk with medium
What?
whipped cream, and a caramel drizzle with a rose design on top.
What?
And a biodegradable takeaway cup with a pink straw. Got it. What?
Wow.
I was
This
just
guy's a
messing with
pro.
him, but to my surprise, he immediately left. And holy mother of toads, he came back with my
What?
exact order.
What?
Wow. Anything else? That's all for now. Later that day, I went to
Wow.
the mall and went on a crazy
This guy's
shopping spree,
amazing.
making him carry all my bags to tire him out. But he was like a machine.
Wow.
I entered a clothing store, and as I tried on all the prettiest clothes, I kept asking for his opinion, but he wasn't paying attention.
Wow.
Hello? Aren't you gonna give me a compliment or something? Giving an opinion about your outfits is not part of my job, ma'am.
Oh,
Any
this guy is
normal
so
guy would have
cool.
been drooling at me by now. He must be a cyborg. To get back at him, I faked a sprain and forced him to carry me on his back. But
Oh.
he was still as strong as a freaking tank.
What?
Finally giving up, I went to the bathroom with everything I'd bought
Huh?
and escaped through the window.
No.
After making sure that I'd lost him,
She's
I went
getting
to an
out.
orphanage and gave out all the clothes to the kids.
Aw,
While I
that's
was
so
having fun with them,
nice.
Tessa sent me some pictures of Theo kissing a blonde girl in a restaurant.
What?
At this point, I didn't even care. Theo was trash.
That's
I
right.
immediately sent him a message and told him that we were done. He was the worst boyfriend anyway.
Yeah.
He started calling me immediately, so I just blocked him.
Ooh.
Problem solved.
Problem
Later, I went to a local
solved.
club to celebrate my breakup. And while I was dancing my heart out, I was shocked to see someone watching me from the bar.
It's Damon!
Of course he tracked me down. A
Dang!
cute guy tried to dance with me, and suddenly, Damon came and pushed him away.
Oh.
Hey, listen, buddy. I'm sick of this. If you're gonna keep scaring all the other guys away, you
Dude.
dance with me. I don't mix business with pleasure. Dance with me, or go sit quietly in a corner while I find someone. Before I could poke the guy next to me,
Oh.
Damon suddenly grabbed my hand to dance.
Dang!
Just then, the song shifted to a slow, romantic one, and
Oh.
he pulled me in closer by the
Oh.
waist. It's not so bad, is it? If you say so, ma'am. You can see my
Wow.
name, though. If you say so, Sasha. He had
Aw.
the faintest smile on his face, and my heart
He's
skipped a
loving
beat. He
it.
slow danced as he looked deep into my eyes, and suddenly his face was so
What?
close to mine.
No.
Just then he pulled away from me, like he'd had an electric shock. We need to go home, but it's still
Wow.
early. Safety reasons. Ugh, he was so annoying.
Aw.
When we got home, I saw a box sitting on my bed, and when I opened it, lots of rats jumped out and
What?
started running all over the
What?
room. Damon saw a little note inside, and for the first time ever, it scared me. For real. Someone broke into your room. This person means business.
Wow.
You have to be more careful, ma'am.
That's
He suggested that I
true.
shouldn't go to school for the next few days for safety, and I agreed. One night, my manager called and reminded me of my concert in Paris the next day. It was my biggest one yet, and I had to
You
go.
have to go.
Don't think you should be making public appearances till we find out who's trying to hurt you.
No, she's got this.
I'm not gonna let some creep scare me and
Yeah.
make me decide what I should do.
We can still
this
do it.
was planned in advance, and all the tickets are sold.
Yeah.
And I'm not canceling. Damon was forced to allow me, but on one condition. We
Oh.
had to share a hotel room so he could keep a constant eye on me.
That's fair.
When we were finally in Paris, I rehearsed my songs all night while he was constantly looking out the
Whoa.
window. The next morning, I found him still asleep on the couch when
Whoa.
something on the floor
He's
caught my
asleep.
attention. A picture of a beautiful girl in his wallet.
Aw.
She looked around my age. I quickly put the wallet away, feeling something weird.
Is that his girlfriend?
Was I jealous? No, of course not. Why would I care if he had a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Hours before the concert, while my makeup team was working on me, Damon suddenly snatched me away.
Oh, wait, what?
Can't you just postpone this? It's too dangerous.
It's too dangerous?
I told you, I can't.
Why?
Please, Sasha, just listen to me. I care about you, you know? Oh, do you? I
Oh.
thought I was your only client.
What?
Just do your job, which is to keep me alive, and let me do my job, which is to entertain people.
Yeah.
And actually, I prefer it when you call me ma'am.
Oh.
You got me? Loud and clear, ma'am.
Wow.
During my concert, I tried not to think of Damon and the death threats, and it was
That's
going
trouble.
so well. In the middle of my performance,
Uh-oh.
I saw Damon in the crowd, and he was smiling at me.
Aw.
He looked so lovely. Now,
That's so
snap out of it,
cute.
Sasha. He has a girlfriend. While I was singing my fourth song, I suddenly spotted a hooded figure in
Oh.
the crowd, and
Dude.
he was aiming something at
Oh,
me.
it's
No,
a
no,
gun!
No. I froze in panic, but just
Uh-oh.
then a strong pair of arms grabbed me and carried me off the stage, and
It's
I looked up
Damon.
to see Damon's tense face. Stay here. Don't move. He returned a few minutes
Bruh.
later, saying he'd lost the hooded figure. I
Dude.
was still shaking in fear, and he gently picked me up and we returned to the hotel. He tucked
Wow.
me into bed and sat on a chair close
That
by.
was so
I
scary.
closed my eyes and tried to sleep, feeling safe as he watched over me. Sometime later, I felt him fixing my blanket
Aw.
and gently caressing my cheek as he left.
Aw.
Why did he do that? And why was it giving me a heart attack? When
That's
I woke
so
up the next
cute.
morning, I peeked into the kitchen and smiled when I saw him dancing while cooking
Aw.
our breakfast. It was the first time I saw him looking so human. I felt shy when he turned to me. I didn't have any makeup on. That's the first time I've seen you without makeup.
Wow.
And you look even more beautiful than usual.
Wow.
Is complimenting me part of your job now?
Yeah.
Maybe. I knew it. No one can ever resist my charm.
That's true.
Not even my emotionless bodyguard. I wonder what your girlfriend would say about this. I assume you're talking about the picture of the girl in my wallet.
Oh.
Gosh, was he actually awake that time?
Oh.
He revealed that it was his sister, and they grew
Aw.
up in the orphanage together. He lost her because he'd failed to protect her,
Oh,
and that's why he became
no.
a bodyguard.
Aw.
She'd always wanted to go to Paris and go up the Eiffel Tower. I suddenly felt brave. Let's go
Aw.
there then. For her. After what happened yesterday, there's no way I'm allowing you to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Also, I know from your file that you're afraid of heights.
Yeah.
I'm not scared when I have you around. I'll be fine, I promise. He finally agreed.
Oh.
But later, as we were climbing onto the escalator at the Eiffel Tower, he must have noticed I was nervous.
She's getting
Are you
nervous.
sure about this? We can just go back, you know. No, I can do this.
Oh,
when
she's
we
doing
reached
it.
the top,
Dude,
I squealed
that's
and covered
scary.
my eyes. You made it to the top. You have to see this view now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. How about you take a look and we'll go down? But I don't want you to miss this, Sasha. I've got you.
Aw.
Do you trust me? Yes, I do.
That's
Okay,
so
then.
cute.
Open your eyes when I say so. I kept my eyes shut.
I bet the
as he
hooded
led
guy
me
is Theo,
forward,
by the way.
And then suddenly, I felt his arms wrap around
Aw.
my waist. Now, I opened my eyes and I gasped. I was so
Wow.
close to the edge, and the whole glittering city was in front of me. And I'd never felt safer in my life.
That's
Damon?
beautiful.
Yes. Have you ever fallen for a client? My smile instantly faded at his answer.
Aw.
No, it would never happen.
Aw.
I can't do my job well if I'm emotionally involved. So,
That's
it was just
true.
me who was feeling this. He was just being nice to his client. After
Aw.
a week, I had to go back to school for the final exam.
That's so
I
sad.
looked for Tessa so we could study together in the library, but I couldn't find her. I sat down to study alone and let Damon stand by the door so I could focus. Minutes later, he barged in
What?
and yelled, "Sasha, look out."
What?
To my horror, the huge bookshelf behind me began to
What?
fall on me.
No!
But Damon leapt forward and pushed me out of harm's way, and it fell on him. He was in
No!
the hospital for a week,
For
and
a
despite my
week?
parents' protests that I needed to stay safe at home, I insisted on visiting him every day.
Aw.
One day, while I was in the waiting area, Tessa came to see me with my favorite coffee. But before I could take a sip,
Wait a minute.
hand suddenly slapped the cup away. We turned to see Damon and a cop
What?
beside him, who suddenly put handcuffs on
What?
Tessa. What
On
are you
Tessa?
doing, you moron? Damon, what's
Was it
happening?
Tessa?
Suddenly, he revealed something that blew my mind. Tessa was the
Whoa.
one who'd pushed the bookshelf on
No.
me. I'd been keeping an eye on her and studying her. That day, I
What?
saw her enter the library from the back door, and I knew she was up to no good. I'm sure your coffee is poisoned too.
Oh.
My best friend was trying to hurt me.
Why would she do
Tessa,
that?
Why? And suddenly, Tessa
What?
turned into a monster.
What?
Because I hate you.
What?
You had everything I've ever wanted. Beauty, talent, fame, wealth. Theo, life is so unfair. I would
What?
have gotten rid of you already if your stupid bodyguard wasn't such a pain.
The police
She
is like, what?
screamed as the cop dragged her away, and I was left speechless.
Dude, I can't
Damon
believe
then pulled
that.
me into a hug. Are you okay? I'll be fine. How are you? I'm okay, but I can't be your bodyguard anymore, Sasha.
Aw.
I just can't fight my feelings for
What?
you anymore, and it's wrong.
He loves
if
her.
I fire you right now, will you be my boyfriend instead? Without
Aw.
a word, he grabbed my face and finally kissed me on the lips.
No.
I took that as a yes.
Guys, smash like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Blocky!